So there is a new GTA 6 leak stating that Rockstar have spent $200 to $300 million just on making the greatest water physics ever in a video game. That's the new rumor, in addition to some other things water related that we're going to take a look at in today's video. So here is the, I guess, source. I don't know, this is the person who tweeted this. Grand Theft Auto 6 will reportedly feature the most realistic water physics ever seen in a video game. I mean, okay, that right there is pretty reasonable, I think, to expect from Rockstar given what we've seen. The next point, Rockstar Games has assembled a team of 20 top engineers exclusively dedicated to water physics modeling. Okay, I mean, I think that's maybe a reasonable thing for Rockstar to do, given how much money they've put into this game, how much money they've made from the last save. Like, all right, making a team of 20 just for water physics, all right, checks out. The third point is where it gets a little crazy, I think. The budget for this endeavor is reportedly between $200 and $300 million, according to reliable sources. Now, I will say, allegedly, the total development cost of GTA 6 is about, what, $2 billion? That's what the number that's been reported over the last couple of years. Even though I think this number is quite high, $230 million, it's not crazy to think that Rockstar would budget a decent chunk of that $2 billion just for water physics, and I'll get into why. But again, maybe this might be a little bit too much. I'm not sure. Then the final point, the final little leak here. The game will include surfing as well as hurricanes and floods. For the first time in an open world game, high and low tides will be dynamic. And this is the one that I think a lot of people are going to see and say, that sounds fake, because it sounds too good to be true. And maybe that's the case. We have already touched on hurricanes and flooding and how some of the screenshots and the trailers over the last year or so that Rockstar put out, there's been some teasing. Nothing super concrete because it is some small stuff in the images and in the trailers and stuff. But there are some clues. There are some potential teases that will get flooding and maybe a hurricane in the game. Probably as the hurricane, at least, as a specific mission, not something that would happen in free roam. The other one, he mentioned surfing. I mean, we haven't seen anything regarding surfing in any of the trailers, any of the leaks, any of the screenshots. So honestly, for me, that one is the least likely for us to see. I mean, it would be cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure if surfing is going to be in the game. That final one, though, high and low tides will be dynamic. Now, this is the one you might think is just crazy sounding. However, I want to actually point out this screenshot. Now, we're going to actually look at a couple of screenshots here at a moment, but this one right here shows something that maybe indicates we will get a high and a low tide. I'll zoom in to the pillars that all of these buildings are standing on. There's the section, obviously, at the bottom part right above the water that is a little darker than the rest of the pillar. That's because that part is wet. But we can clearly see the waves aren't super choppy, so it's not like they would be wet from waves or something, or, water splashing. That could indicate the high and low tide actually being a thing in this game. The high tide will come in, it'll wet all of those concrete pillars, and then the tide will go down, and then you'll be able to see those pillars wet like we're seeing here. Like this obviously would be a lower tide. So honestly, the high and low tide thing, that kind of looks like it might be happening. Now, again, it's just a screenshot. We're not seeing this yet. This is speculation, but I don't know. There's some decent evidence there that shows maybe there is a high and low tide. But I want to just scroll through some of these other images that we've gotten that showcase water, because this is one of the things I've seen a lot of people say the 200 to 300 million number, that's too much just for water. But this game seemingly is going to have so much revolving around water, whether it's in the keys and you have all of that. I mean, all of these screenshots, even in the trailers, there's tons of NPCs and boats and other things on the water. So it seems like the water is going to be a very, very big deal, especially down here in Leonida, or the Keys. Then, of course, we have a bunch of the swampy areas. I mean, you do have Mount Calaga National Park, which is shown. a couple of river shots. I think that was also the guy kayaking. I would imagine kayaking would be an activity that we can do, and that would require some really good water physics. Also, in this screenshot, we have the flood gauge. So again, flooding, Rockstar might be teasing it there with that. Yeah, obviously there would be a bunch of stuff revolving around the water in the swamps. We can drive through it, you know, we'll be able to maybe hunt, drive boats through it, all of that. Then there's even like the lakes. I mean, we've only seen, I think this part, the bottom left, that is Lake Leonida in the middle of the map. It's next to Ambrosia, the city. But there's even, of course, maybe water, and that's partially swampy there. So this map, this GTA 6 game, is going to have a lot of water-based activities, and there's going to be a lot of land that has water incorporated around it or into it, I guess. So just look at all of that. It's not crazy to think that they would focus a heavy amount into the water physics of this game. And you do also have to remember that even if these numbers are true and they are spending $300 million to make the water physics the best they can ever be, it's not just for GTA 6. Like, they can use that or future games. So this is sort of an investment into the future of their game. So it's not just like they're spending $300 million on the GTA 6 game, because they're obviously, you know, going to be using it for RDR3 and GTA 7 and whatever other games they plan on making in the future. So this rumor might not be, or this leak, I should say, might not be, you know, 100% accurate. Hell, I think we've seen a lot of these points in the past. So maybe this is just a rehash of an older leak. But I will say, just looking at some of the screenshots and trailer shots that Rockstar have shown, you know, in this last batch of information, it does seem like water is going to be a major part of this game, and I do think we're going to be getting some very insanely well done water physics. So I think that's exciting, regardless of if this leak is true or fake. And for anyone that may have doubts or may think, you know, having the most realistic water physics is crazy, they have beer bottle physics, man. You can see the bubbles going up. There are a couple of other examples of just really, really small stuff like this having proper physics. So if Rockstar's going to go to the level of making these bottles have proper water physics, then surely the actual bodies of water will have insane, realistic water physics as well. So again, I think it is pretty exciting, regardless of if this leak is true or not. What Rockstar's working on and what they've shown us, I mean, I can't wait to see more. But that is going to go ahead and do it for today's GTA 6 video. The water is going to be insane, more than likely. Hey, yes, for watching. Please remember to like if you enjoy, subscribe for more GTA 6 content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.